Hey guys, it's Jonathan here from PlayGuitar.com. Head on over and check it out if you're not there already, or hit the yellow subscribe button on YouTube. And today I just have a lesson for anybody who's having a hard time getting their chords sounding clear. We're going to talk specifically about this E string here, because one of the things I see happening a lot is that people will play their chords, for instance an A major or a D major or C major, things like that, and yet when they're doing that they're playing all 6 strings. Now this really muddies up the sound of the chord. Listen to it for a moment. It doesn't all fit, right? I mean the A fits, but it's changing the chord because it's a different root note really, and the E just doesn't fit in the chord at all. It sounds much better starting from the D string, right? Same as a C. That E, even though the E fits in the chord, I mean we've got another E right here, it's the major third, but because it's lower than the root note, the C root note, it really changes the sound of the chord and it muddies it and it just doesn't sound good. So what we do is we mute this string, and I want to show you a couple of techniques that I use for doing that. When I'm playing a C major chord here, of course best is you teach your right hand to just start strumming from that from the 5th string, and you kind of completely skip the 6th string in your strum. But when you're kind of strumming along to a song, you know, it takes a little bit more practice to really get that fine-tuned, so you can just be ignoring that 6th string. So little technique you can do in the meantime is use your thumb. If you've got decently sized hands, then you can probably wrap your thumb around the fretboard here. So that's one thing you can do, and when you're doing this you don't want to actually fret the string, because then you're actually introducing another note, right? My thumb fits nicely. I mean it ends up being right here on the 2nd fret basically, and I do actually use that sometimes with a D, like if I'll play a D with an F sharp bass. Can sound cool, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about just touching the string ever so lightly just to stop it from vibrating. Right? That's what we're talking about. So in the C major, I'll strum through slowly. You can hear this one's not going to get picked up at all, right? So when I strum the whole chord, you don't even hear that my pick is actually touching that 6th string, because it's being muted. It's just, all it is I'm just touching that string ever so lightly, not pressing it all the way down, and by doing that you basically remove it from the equation, right? So that's a great one to do with a lot of your open chords. You can't reach around, and I mean I guess you could when you're doing the D major, but because you have to then mute the E string and the A string. But it works great for chords that have their root note on the 5th string, okay, the A string. Another way that I go about doing this, it achieves the exact same thing, is right here. When I'm playing a chord like this one, for instance, 2 forms of a C there, I actually take the my middle finger here, and I just touch it to the 6th string. Normally when you're, see if I can come up close here and show you that, it's just barely touching the 6th string. Normally you don't want to be touching other strings at all, because you stop them from buzzing by doing that, right? You don't get a clean sound, a clean chord as you pick all the way through. But in this case I don't want that string to buzz, so I'm just going to touch it ever so lightly. And you can use this in other more complicated chords. Sometimes you can, you know, if you're trying to skip like the 3rd string or something like that, you can just touch it with a string that's, or a finger that's close by, and stop it from buzzing. So that's there, and like if depending, I mean you can use the technique with different fingers of course too, right? If you're I'm using it with my my ring finger, and in this case it would be with my middle finger. So there you go. Experiment with it. Try it out. There's another kind of cool chord, and again you can use that middle finger to root or to mute the root note below it. Alright, so have fun with that. It's Jonathan here from GuitarTipsWeekly.com. Head on over and check out the site. You can sign up for free email tips. I'll send you out a video lesson like this one every week, and then you can learn guitar. It's a lot of fun. We'll see you again next time.